What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to this week's episode of Yo Nerd. And this time, we're going to be going back into our series WANNABE, where we pretend that as fans, we know exactly how to do really hard jobs. In our last episode of WANNABE, we were actually developers for the video game Marvel Rivals. We came up with a few different characters that they should put in the game, or that we feel like they should put in the game. But this time, we are now the CEOs of DC Studios, as you guys all know, and hopefully have seen the new movie Superman. So DC has made a lot of announcements and teased a lot of different projects, but we have yet to receive an official timeline of what will be coming out and when. So today, we're going to pitch our most wanted or most anticipated sort of projects that we want to see them put out, and we'll have some fun with it. Welcome to Yo Nerd. I'm Jase.
I'm Zion.
I'm Noah.
All right, let's get straight into it, guys. So how this is going to work is we basically are going to each pitch 5 projects, whether movie or show, that we would prioritize for DC Studios. So we can keep sort of the projects that they already have in place, or we can create completely new projects that they haven't announced or teased. And then after, we pitch our projects, we're going to share sort of the overall picture, overall theme for the first phase. For example, if one of our phases was like gods and monsters, we would explain sort of how that works and then where we want to see things go moving forward. So Zion, I want you to start off because I think we all know where Zion's going to go with this.
And there will be spoilers for Superman. So if you haven't seen Superman, go watch it. It's a great movie. Then come back to this and we can talk about what they should do moving forward. So I think I'm gonna go first, and we're gonna limit ourselves to a timer because we can all talk here. We can all talk. So we have 5 minutes to make our pitch for this first phase of the DCU. All right. So I'm gonna be playing things really close to the chest, do really streamlined approach to the DCU. I think it's a fresh start. I think DC has never had a cohesive universe, so it really needs to be streamlined and focused on the priorities first before building out to more. So I'm going to be using James Gunn's initial phase. He called it the Gods and Monsters phase. I think it works well after watching Superman. I think metahumans have been around for a while, but my theory is that they haven't been super prevalent. You've had like teams of heroes or even some monsters and things kind of on the fringes. So people know they exist, but there haven't been a lot of mainstay superheroes. And even if there are, a lot of times they're either part of the government or a corporation like the Justice Gang or, we got a glimpse of the JSA, that there's a history there, the Justice Society of America. So it's kind of teams, but they've been very contained by the government or different entities. So in this phase, more heroes are coming out, more monsters are appearing. And I think humanity is growing more and more skeptical of metahumans in general. So here's where I would go post Superman. Obviously, we have Supergirl. Very excited for Supergirl. I think it's going to be a very cosmic film if you've read the source material that they're basing this on. Really keep it contained. We haven't had a Supergirl story, and I think the story that they're going to have is going to be crucial. So really keep it on Supergirl, but just have hints towards the larger universe and space side of the DCU. I would even love to see a Green Lantern out on patrol or, any kind of like space threat or even just space entity. I would love to see even just little cameos within the Supergirl movie. Which then leads to the Lanterns TV show. Now, the Lanterns TV show follows Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, but it's Earth-based. It's a very grounded show. They're apparently investigating a series of murders in somewhere in America. So I think what I want to see from this show is people are becoming more skeptical because metahumans are doing these murders. Maybe it's something from space. Maybe, it links to the Lantern Corps somehow. But I think it needs to link to the growing fear of metahumans in society. Now, the most anticipated and most important projects in all of DCU, the Batman Part 2. Now, I'm going to rope Pattinson into this universe. Noah, where am I at with time?
You got 1:52.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's how I'd make it work, okay? So, during the events of the Batman 1, everyone, where are the superheroes? Let me explain. Superman was away. You have two options. He was either in space with Kara somewhere, or he went to the Fortress of Solitude. That was his first time ever going to the fortress. And he stayed there for a few weeks to kind of learn about his culture, his history, his heritage. And so when he emerges, when the movie talks about Superman came out 3 years ago, it's post the Batman. So Batman's already been around for 5 years now at this point in the DCU. So Superman wasn't around, and then other heroes are again under contracts, so they don't choose where they go or who they help out with. I also think you could have political systems behind the scenes, like the Court of Owls, that keep certain government bodies or superheroes from doing a lot of work in Gotham anyway. So Gotham is a grounded place, right? It's a place that doesn't really deal with metahumans up to this point. And so, but with the increasing rise of metahumans, I think you're going to see that in Gotham more and more. So Batman, the purpose of the film is he's getting an upgrade, right? He's really got to learn the detective skills, the gadgets to face these increasing threats from metahumans. I want to see Dick Grayson Robin in this movie. We got to start at the beginning. Maybe even rope in some of the Clayface plans and whatever they were doing with that project. And it ends with a more traditional Batman of what we understand that could fit into the larger DCU. Then I want to see a Wonder Woman movie. I'm going to keep it very brief. And the key project after all that is the Waller Show. If you don't know Amanda Waller's origin story, go look up a video or go read about it. It's actually really good, and I think she encompasses the fear that metahumans, or the fear of metahumans in society. And so she's really going to be the one, kind of the Nick Fury of this universe, to piece everything together and connect all the dots from all these separate stories and start growing the larger narrative of what's happening in this universe. So did I go over?
Barely. You're
Okay.
good.
I honestly,
All right.
honestly, I like that. That sounds good. I feel like that's better than
Okay.
mine. Low-key.
No. But that's the thing. I mean, really, they could do anything, and it's going to be exciting, right? It's a new universe, and they're really. I think what I love about James Gunn's approach is they're putting quality before like deadlines and everything.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. But what did you guys think overall of my
I couldn't
pitch?
help but notice a certain character was missing from that.
Who?
Hey, he's missing from mine too.
All right. See, this is why. The most important character in DC.
That he's there. Batman.
You know, he needs to be there again. He can't show up one time in the phase 1.
Yes, you can.
Well,
No.
hold on. Let me clarify. This isn't the full phase. But this is the next projects, the next 5 that I would prioritize at DC.
These are like the solos before Avengers.
Yeah. And I wouldn't do a Justice League to end. I would actually do a Trinity movie. Just Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. And then I'd start like James Gunn did with the Justice Gang. In each of the solo movies, I would start tying other DC characters in the larger movies. So that's my pitch. Any other thoughts besides the lack of Superman, which he would be in the phase? You got to keep. I think you need to keep things more separate and then bring them together slowly.
Yeah, I agree.
What's the time jump for Batman from the first one?
See, that was the hard thing for me to figure out. This could either take place before Superman, so it could be a year. Because the big thing with the Penguin was, where's Batman? right? So Batman's not super present in all this time. I think there's actually a story reason behind it.
He got
Either
whooped so
he
bad
goes
he had to
away.
leave and go learn how to be Batman.
No.
Oh,
I think either he realizes that the city needs more of him, so he's taking time to go learn greater detective skills, greater fighting skills, stealth skills, or, and this is kind of another theory I've been wrestling with because I mentioned the Court of Owls. It could have been that post um the Batman Part 1, Batman was actually captured by the Court of Owls, and he's kind of been trapped with them for whatever the time period is up
Mm.
until this point, because he really became prevalent after the Gotham flood attack and the Riddler, and people started looking to him as a symbol of hope. So the Court of Owls is going to be like, nah, we're nipping that in the bud right now, So I don't know what I would go with. It depends on the story direction, but I think you have a few options to really play around with it. And I think even with some of those explanations, you could make the Batman work in the DCU.
hmm
I think you
What do you
could
think,
too,
Jace?
honestly. I think you could
Yeah.
too. And I can get
Let's
right
go.
into it if you want me to.
James Gunn, please, please, please. All right,
I
go
mean,
ahead, Jace. Go ahead, Jace. It's your turn.
all right. Let's get into this. Okay, so let me preface this by saying a couple of things. First, I agree with Zion when I don't think that they should rush into the whole Justice League thing too fast. And I feel like that's what they've done in the past with the old DCEU is just putting out the big hitters and hoping that people like them, and then they're just trash. If you're a Snyder fan, stop watching this podcast.
yeah.
Um,
Please, if you're
so
subscribed, unsubscribe and just
yeah, like
please, we don't want you.
Stay subscribed, but just maybe.
nah,
No,
nah, but
I'm
seriously, I'm taking a different approach because I have the big three in there, which I'll get into, but I also have a couple of um I have a couple of people who aren't as prevalent in the DC universe. But I have like an overall theme, and when I thought of this, I was like, DC is just straight up hire me right now. Okay, so I'm calling it like the phase is gonna have to do with I'm calling it the fall. So with nothing that we see like in the past, there was like sort of an original fault or like an original sin sort of thing that
Ooh.
the there's going to be different aspects, like there's going to be like the cosmic aspect, there's going to be the ground level, the mythic, the magic, whatever, but the fall also represents the Snyderverse. That one, they're not, obviously they're not going to say that, but that's what it's going to be. So getting into the actual projects for Batman, I'm going to say that Bruce is going to investigate a series of murders linked to an ancient cult that was operating in Gotham, like since like before its founding, and sort of like Gotham was built on atop the ruins of this cult at the beginning of the fall. And I'll keep this quick. So that's my Batman. Next, I have Wonder Woman. So I'm not including Superman, obviously, because the movie just came out, but it goes Superman, then Batman, then Wonder Woman. And so I'm going to say that for Wonder Woman, Diana is going to uncover the Amazon's like hidden history that was meant to be a secret. I'm going to say that they were created after the fall to guard something buried beneath the Themyscira. And that's going to have to do with sort of not like as much of like a cult thing, but like a sort of like a dark history that they don't want to talk about, that they want to keep hidden. And then I have Green Lantern. So I want a Green Lantern core movie, but I want it to mainly focus on John Stewart. That's my favorite Green Lantern. But I want it actually no, I'm changing my mind on the spot. I'm changing my mind. I want it to focus on Hal and John together, but like it to be
Okay.
like a whole Green Lantern core
Kind
movie. I
of
want them
passing the
to
torch though,
right,
like they are, or how's younger?
Hal's younger. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Hal's younger. So I'm gonna have them to discover an ancient like cosmic scar in space sort of thing. And then which is gonna be like the remnants of that same fall. And now it's becoming active. Like Bruce with the cult in Gotham. Like they're becoming active again. He's investigating a series of murders. All of it is now coming to light. And then 5. Okay, now I'm getting into the two that are not as prevalent. Number 5. When I say magic, who's the first person you guys think of?
Either Zatanna or Dr. Fate.
Zatanna, yes sir. Yeah, nah, but I feel like it would honestly work in this story that I'm trying to build because there is a lot to do with like ancient, cult magic sort of thing. Um, and I think for Zatanna's movie or a show, possibly, I think it might be better as a show. It might be better or more well received. But I'm saying that she's seeking to complete an ancient spell, or somebody else is seeking to complete an ancient spell that would, and I don't know, I haven't thought of all the details, but maybe it would be meant to control magic itself, and she has to stop that group from doing that because they've been doing it since the fall or something like that. Now, obviously, guys, I'm not getting paid enough to be a DC developer, DC writer, so you're getting the bare bones of these stories. And was that 5? Because I have one more, but
You did Batman, Wonder
Wonder
Woman,
Woman, Green Lantern.
Green Lantern.
You have one more,
I have one more.
Zatanna.
Okay, bet. All right. So for those of you unfamiliar, I need you to get familiar with the question. So, Big Sage, I'm not going to explain his whole backstory because, for sake of time, but the question, Big Sage, I'm going to say that he's investigating a political and corporate conspiracy that are rooted in metahuman experimentation that they've been doing since the fall. And I think that they could all come together. I mean, even though they're at different levels, obviously, honestly, I don't have a way right now for them all to come together, but we only have 5 projects, guys. So how about in the comments, you guys decide how they would all come together?
Honestly, bro, I really like the idea of this central event in the history of things because you could even link it to how they set up the DCU, where it was 3 centuries ago. Because the beginning text of Superman said 3 centuries ago, metahumans first appeared.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, this is just a thought. The central villain of this whole phase, or even multiple phases, could be Vandal Savage behind the scenes orchestrating everything. Because maybe 3 centuries ago, he starts this event, or maybe he recruits all these different groups, the group in Gotham, the space people, to sow chaos and cause, like, because that's, at least I'm not too familiar with Vandal Savage, but I remember in Young Justice his thing was like just people need chaos to evolve, right? So he is kind of like, that's his whole mission. I think I could be wrong about that, but anyway, that's just a thought that I have. But I really like the idea that there's something that's linking, like, and people are starting to put together the dots of like, man, there was just this event or something, that's really dope.
Honestly, I think that's what DC lacks, or they've lacked in the past, is just because they don't have like a cohesive theme. They don't have something to keep it all together. They just throw all the characters together, put in a villain, and call it a day. And they need to build upon a theme in multiple projects, multiple movies, so that when it actually comes together, that's when you get a good story. That's when you get audience engagement and all the other stuff. That's what makes Marvel. I mean, what it used to. Now it's not as great, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, last one. Noah, bring us home. Superman 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Is that where we're going?
I would have thrown in a World's Finest in the middle, probably between like 4 and
5. Okay.
No, but for mine, I stayed more to what I think they're going towards / what I would actually want with what they're going towards. Obviously, we're not keeping Clayface or Swamp Thing. We don't need those. So starting off, of course, with Supergirl. I'm very excited for this. The comic book that's based off of is incredible. I would advise everyone to read it before going to see the movie. I think it's going to do a really good job of building out the entire space scene. I agree with Zion. I'd love to see some Green Lanterns at some point. I want to see a lot of different planets, space travel, all that stuff. I also would like to see one of either Brainiac or Mongol at some point,
Ooh.
just to tie it together. I feel like that could be something, especially if it's Brainiac. I think that could trigger something in Kara where she maybe doesn't even come back for a
Bro,
while,
that'd be
and she has a
crazy.
whole a second movie could just be in space as well.
Yeah.
Secondly, I go into Wonder Woman. This one, no clue. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know what I want with Wonder Woman. The thing I do know, I want her to have a lot more time as Wonder Woman. I think the last one, although it was good, was very much just an origin story. She had a couple fight scenes and it was kind of lame. This one, I would like her to be established in outside of Themyscira, and then maybe she could go back at some point in the movie for some plot point, which I do not yet know. But I would like it to be outside of Themyscira, her already being solidified as Wonder Woman, working through more of her character, maybe even seeing some other characters in the DCU that they have established. Third, I have Batman. As much as I would want Pattinson, I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going to go a little bit of what I'd like to see for not Pattinson, whoever they end up casting. I want this Batman to be within year 5 or 6. I want him to be very well
Pattinson
through.
what?
He
Come
was
on,
year
dog.
2,
Come
bro.
on.
Year 2.
But by this time, he'll be in year 5 or
What
6.
year? No.
All right, I'm sorry. Let me not interrupt your pitch. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Very good. Because I feel like I want them by the end of one movie to be close to Justice League form. They don't have to have Justice League, but Pattinson's so far from peak Batman that we're not talking about that. I think Superman's really close now. I think this movie was a big step in the direction for him to be close to that Justice League form. I think he needs one more. We'll talk on that next. But this Batman, I want it to be very comic-y. I want him to have gray and black suit. But I want it to be less of the suits he's had recently have been very practical and layers upon layers of this armor and stuff. In the comics, bro literally wears a spandex cloth. Him and Superman just have a skin tight thing. I want that. Also, I want his cape to be massive. I want him to fully cover himself in the cape. I want him to be super stealthy, and I want it to be him fighting multiple villains throughout the movie, leading up to not Joker. I don't want Joker at all. You could do Clayface, honestly, with them. They already have the movie. You could weave that in. I got 2 minutes left. The next one, Superman 2. Of course, you have to bring Superman back at least one time. I low-key have 2 pitches for this.
I'm excited to hear these.
Was Brainiac staying on Earth the whole time. It could be something where he doesn't really see Brainiac much until later parts of the movie. But throughout the movie, I want to see a lot more of Daily Planet, a lot more of Superman's daily life. I want to see just Metropolis, how he interacts with people, and then the buildup. And this is where the other one could work. I want it to be Brainiac. So if you wanted to, you could make it to where he goes and meets up with Supergirl somewhere. It's either she could come back and help, or if it's in space, I low-key was thinking you could do a full space movie with Superman, base it loosely off of up in the sky for an hour, where it's him just trying to get to Kara, and then they meet up. Maybe she got captured or something. They have a cool fight. And then lastly, the deep cut. My 5th movie. I wanted to go Flash. I'm honestly sad that no one did Flash.
We've had enough Flash. Hey, and for reference for everybody, Flash is my favorite DC superhero, and Ezra Miller ruined him for me. Genuinely ruined him. I don't even want to see the Flash.
Do you want Barry Allen or Wally?
I want Wally personally, but I'd be fine with Barry too. Then again,
I think do Barry for the Justice League.
Yeah.
And then they're obviously going the Titans route or the Young Justice route.
Mm-hmm.
So save Wally for, I want to see Wally and Nightwing. That's a really deep comics relationship. But
yeah.
Also, don't bring back Grant. Keep him away from Flash.
They're not going to, that.
They wouldn't cast him, but he's better than Ezra, straight up.
Anyone's better than Ezra.
Straight up.
Keep him away. My last movie is going to be a Martian Manhunter movie. Almost solely based on Mars. I want the full movie to be his life on Mars. It could be, you could pick so many things that you could do. Obviously, has one of the most tragic backstories. probably could be like an hour and a half into the movie could be like the ending kind of, and then I'd be fine if the ending was him. The end of the movie would be him kind of getting to Earth, adjusting that life for a little bit, and then whatever. But his whole civilization gets wiped out by the white Martians, so I feel like that'd be tough to see on the big screen, like him trying to fight back but just not having the power to do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Could be tough.
poor John.
And I feel like he's underrated, bro. He's
is.
never been done justice except in the Justice League animated series.
Yeah, that's
It's
So
honestly
bring
true.
him out, bro.
Yeah.
You know what they should honestly do that I just thought of? What if they did like a Martian Manhunter show, like a Green Martian show that was basically Secret Invasion, just a 100 times better version?
You could do that. I also even
Yeah.
wondered, do you rope Martian into the Supergirl side of things? But
Mhm.
either way, I mean, dude, yeah, we need Martian. What's your guys' ideal Justice League lineup? Let's just say the first iteration of the league. Like the origin, these are the founding members. Justice League animated series?
Yeah. I don't see any other, like, that was my show. If a good hot girl, not Black Canary from Superman.
But do you want Hawkgirl in
Bro.
your first Justice League movie?
Okay, actually, never mind, not her.
We have her.
No,
we
I
have
think
Black, we have
her
Hawkgirl already.
and
She's in the universe.
Aaron Pierce, Jon Stewart.
That seems weird.
I don't know. I think
Yeah, something about that
Really?
seems a little sus.
It's something about that
she
seems off.
she does seem
I don't know
younger
what
than
it is.
him. I
I
think
don't feel
that's probably
comfortable
what
with
it
that for
is.
some
But
reason.
I don't know. And honestly, in the Superman movie, they did not need to do hot girl like that, bro. She was genuinely screaming more than Black Canary screams. Like,
oh man,
anyway, but I don't know.
that's tough. Well, so those are our pitches. James Gunn, DC. Here you go. We did it for you. We gave you 3 options. 3 great options, honestly. Some needed context to the universe. No, but no disrespect. We're just really excited for DC. I think Superman kind of showed DC's back. This is what we've been waiting forever for, honestly, is just a solid interconnected DC universe. And so, yeah, please, down in the comments, what would you choose for the next 5 projects of the DCU? What are your most anticipated characters? And, let us know your thoughts down below.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Yo Nerd. As always, guys, we appreciate you guys watching. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and like the video, subscribe. If you're watching any of our clips on TikTok, make sure to give us a follow, Instagram as well. But until then, we'll see you guys next time.